had some red peppers. Red. So and these were naturally red, not injected with whatever. So he said, this was a guy who has credentials, a little different than my credentials, and he's been in nutrition a lot longer than I have. I'm doing this as a side thing. This is his life. He said, if you eat the rainbow, this is my answer to you, if you eat the rainbow, you're probably going to get every vitamin and mineral that you need because they're in different foods. Now, in this booklet, I have a chart that has, I didn't put it in this one, I'll put it in the next one. But I have a chart that I'll, inshallah, be making available that will have all the vitamins, all the minerals, and the foods that you can get from them. My favorite things to eat includes, David, broccoli. Broccoli. That is my favorite vegetable. You get so much from that. Yes. Hey, broccoli and celery.
But it was in my tuna salad. I chopped it real small. And I put carrot in there. And celery in my tuna salad.
Okay. Now, and when I say broccoli, I don't mean it's like, you know, that little, that little three-sided plate. I don't mean that little pocket over there. I mean, that's like the main. The plate. Yeah, the plate is broccoli.
Oh, you mean a lot of.
A lot of broccoli. He knows. He knows. He's like nodding his head.
What about spinach? Spinach is a good one.
Spinach, if you don't overcook it.
Raw spinach.
And you can cook it. If it turns colors, it's not good. Like the salmon that turns colors is showing stress. If you cook your vegetables and they turn colors,
I don't.
You've lost a lot of the positive that's in there because a lot of the vitamins that are there break down with too much heat. So if your vegetables turn colors, you've eaten them too far. You've cooked them too much. It's the substance is still there. It's just not structured right. Remember I said that fats are made out of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Glucose is made out of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Fructose is made out of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. How it's structured makes the difference. Two of them I would never use to make ATP. One of them is perfect. So it's the structure that matters. And you destructure it if you cook it too much. One more, because I'm being given the hook.
No, oh yeah.
Yes. You have a question?
No, I had to stop this.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought that was a hook. All right.
But a salad, a nice good salad with dinner, with a lot of like maybe cut some
Colors.
bell peppers and
Colors.
onions and put, maybe shave some carrot in there, break up some broccoli and raw broccoli and put it in there, and some lettuce. And a little ranch dressing.
Okay, so everything that he's saying with vegetables is totally fine. What do most of us do with our salad dressing? We don't do, yes! 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 I want to be able to taste my dressing, not taste your salad. How many of us even know what raw spinach tastes like? We just dipped it and put so much stuff to it, we don't even know what it tastes like. I don't like the taste of my spinach.
It's good in salad.
I mean, Popeye was a cartoon, but, well, that was canned spinach, but it's, you know, it's good stuff for life. Yes.
Before you leave, I did a quick background check on your grandmother's
name. Oh, me? Oh.
Your grandmother's name.
Oh.
Dina.
Who? Dina, yes.
And Dina is an Arabic name.
Dina.
Islamic name. But a feminine form.
Yes.
But a feminine form, so she probably was predicting the little Muslim to come down the road. Your mother.
My mother, right, nice. And I have, and I didn't really grow up around my great-grandmother, but I went to visit her twice, and those two experiences was enough to get me started. You know, that was enough to turn some wheels going. So I kind of see myself as a continuation. I grow microgreens, which is that's another topic. But I grow microgreens, and they are also seen in a similar way as my great-grandmother's herb garden, as having properties. So a little bit of her, inshallah, I'm hoping to disrupt off from me because she was a great person. So yeah, I don't want to be taken to the emergency room after I turn 100 and then all of a sudden die. But you know,
I got my whole family eating nuts, and it was by accident. We were having guests at the house, so I bought, you know, they had the Christmas nuts in the grocery store, so I bought a bunch of nuts, put them in a bowl, bought a nutcracker, set it next to the nutcracker, and it brought back memories of when I was a child. I used to crack nuts with my mother and eat nuts. Lo and behold, I didn't think nobody ate nuts in the house except me and Wallace. Everybody's been eating nuts. So I actually went to the store and got more. And so I keep a bowl of nuts
bowl
and
of
a
nuts.
nutcracker. And the
Just-
kids love cracking nuts.
Caution with nuts is the salt.
Yeah.
Just get the raw and you'll be fine. And then overeating anything is bad. In the last page in my booklet has a ayat about overdoing. You just be doing things in moderation. Yeah, doing things in moderation. Okay. I didn't ask the middle section.
We balanced them out.
They all
Left
equal.
and right.
Any comments from the middle section?
I think probably people in this room probably eat better than most.
Yeah.
Because that one protein they push on people, and it's a highly stressed animal. I ain't never seen a cool pig. The cows, they be cool, but when they gonna catch them pigs and slaughter them pigs be violent and
And
crazy.
they genetically, because they've gotten so
They
much
what?
flack about the pigs, they genetically modified them so
To
they're
make them
lean.
calmer,
To make them lean,
oh, leaner.
leaner. But they're still bad.
They're still violent and they grow sharp tongues.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean you let no kosher pig? I wanted to offer something
Yes, sir.
that I found has helped me and someone else might be benefited from. Diabetes runs in my family. When I was about in my 40s, the doctor told me I was borderline diabetic. And I started taking cinnamon. I take 4 capsules of cinnamon every day.
I didn't know cinnamon was good.
Cinnamon is supposed to counteract, yeah, it's supposed to help you help your body absorb your glucose and keep it from spiking. It's supposed to keep it from spiking.
So it has helped me. I've never been diagnosed as diabetic.
Alhamdulillah, so far, yeah. My mother was, my grandmother, not the side of the family where Mama Dina is, but my other grandmother on my mother's side, her mother. My grandmother passed in a diabetic coma. She was in a coma when she passed. My mother's mother had 10 children, and of those who reached adolescence or to adulthood, those who made it that far, which was I think 8 of them, diabetes. And not my mom. Alhamdulillah. And this year she turns 11. Alhamdulillah. So not diabetes.
So she turns 80.
She turns 80.
Well, I share that with her.
Alhamdulillah. Nation of Islam. She ate to live. Now that we have our community as a whole as our Islam, she still eats to live. She's still that in us. My cousins are my age, older, younger, diabetes. It's running rampant. It's skipping us for some reason. I mean, I know why, because it takes care of us. So it doesn't have to be. And there is a genetic connection. There is. Okay, that's why the doctors ask you. Diabetes, cancer, hypertension, cardiac issues, kidney problems. They ask you because there is a genetic, listen carefully, predisposition. That does not mean you're going to get it.
That's right.
It means your body is susceptible. If you live a similar lifestyle as the person who has it or had it, your DNA stays the same as it is, which is going to stay the same because you can't change your DNA. You're going to get diabetes. If you change your lifestyle, then inshallah, you will not. It is possible to back up and not be a diabetic for your entire life. It is possible to not have to take the insulin and all of the medication. You may not be able to get off of all of it, depending on how serious your problem is, but it can get better. You can have arteriosclerosis. That's the hardening of the arteries because of plaque. Plaque that comes from cholesterol and other issues related to fats. You can have hardening of the arteries. You could have strokes because the artery was so hard that it ruptured. You can have that and change the way you're doing things and not need as much care, medicine, etc., 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 as you did before. Dialysis centers are coming up, have come up all over this country. I have a niece who's a dialysis nurse, and I was talking to her about this. She has a friend who works overseas. It is also happening overseas because people have adopted and they give it that name. They call it the American diet.
About something I heard on NPR, they said a Korean couple came to the United States and they tested, I don't know, I didn't hear the whole report, so I'm assuming they had tested it, but this is what I caught. They said 3 months later, they checked the bacteria in their gut, and their gut bacteria had completely changed from what it was before they left Korea and came to the United States. So I would think if there's trillions of bacteria in the human body, and if it changes from one condition to another, you have like starved your body of something it was used to having, and so you're going to change as a physical creature. Your whole system might change. You might get diseases that you wouldn't have gotten.
And we do. And that makes you more susceptible because you're not used to it. And that's one reason we're suffering so much. We're eating foods, dairy products, and really expensive cuts of meat and stuff like that we're not used to. Our budget changes, we get a good job, what are we going to do? And then, oh my goodness, my heart and my lungs and everything is just falling apart. So our bodies are not used to that. And then we wind up with these illnesses and we don't know why. So I'm saying to you, as I close, when you are dealing with something that you've been doing all your life, the people during Prophet Muhammad's days were accustomed to doing things that they had been doing all their life. They had to make a change, and Allah blessed them with that change. Allah says in the Quran, He is merciful. I didn't know any better. We can't be judged for what we did not know. He tells us that. But once we do know, it's on us.
Slavery forced us to change our diet.
Yes, and we're not enslaved anymore. So, and we know better now.
Same
To some degree.
Yeah. And we're not X'd out of the schools like we used to be. Oh no, black people can't come here. Where they taught people how to think. We could go anywhere now. Jim Crow is not stopping us. Other stuff might be, but it's not Jim Crow. So I'm saying all of this to say, Brother Milton, let me go ahead. Rice, whole grain is better than. No, I wouldn't wash the starch out because if I have to wash the starch out, you need the whole grain. You need that outer part that's over the rice itself. That's what I mean by whole grain. That outer part is the fiber. So as you're eating the mushy part on the inside, if you cooked it with the whole grain there, you now have the outer part, and as it goes down, you don't absorb too quickly the glucose that's in the rice. So, but does it have the grain over it? It does. Okay, what are we going to say?
Oh, I was going to say,
I'm sorry.
Diabetes.
Yes.
So I didn't want to leave without saying this. I heard Imam Mohammed say that the word diabetes comes from the name Diabetes. Ancient Pharaoh had a general, or his top general named Diabetes, that rode, his name was Diabetes. He rode around he was a man of extreme excess. He heavily taxed the people. He rode around in a gold-plated chariot, spinning wheels on it, and he wore gold and jewelry and diamonds. So diabetes is a term that the scientists came up with because they believed it came from excessive eating. So when you eat too much, so it's diabetes comes from eating too much. Moderation, like you said. When you said moderation, I was like, that's the key. That's the real key. It's not whether you eat rice or not or sugar. It's how much rice and how often
what else
and
you
how
eating.
much sugar.
And what else
it's
you
the
eating
balance.
with it. Yeah, and what else you eating with
the
it.
answer's in the Quran.
It is.
But we
Truly
refuse to believe it.
Yeah, it's truly there. I thought you were going to say something when Brother Milton was speaking. Did you want to add something to what he was saying?
No, actually, because he shared that with me in the past, I was going to ask him to share that.
I thought everybody heard him say
Okay,
that.
diabetes.
Oh, he was going to
Alhamdulillah.
I might have heard him.
Alhamdulillah.
He might have whispered it.
Alhamdulillah.
I just want to make a political expression. When you said Jim Crow is not stopping us now, and you're absolutely right. It's Dr. James Everett.
He has a doctorate and using his full first name. Okay, I got you.
It's a little more advanced.
I got you. All right. So I'm gonna wrap this up. We can back up. We can fix. We can improve. Allah is merciful. He's given us numerous examples through history, our own personal lives. We can probably attest to things that looked really bleak, and then it got better. So none of us are at that point of no return. We're all at the point where we can do better. We have to start with self-prayer, prayer, 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 move forward with that. Next, go to your doctors. Get your readings. Know your numbers. Use those numbers to do some research. Don't let them tell you everything.